We are going to get a little bit of an acceleration test right here. Today, we are inside a brand new 2023 Mercedes-Benz GLC300 Coupe. This is a pretty cool car. We got black leather interior. Let's hop on the outside, do a quick walk around, then we'll get in, we'll go for a drive on the highway. We got black metallic paint on the outside. I love the Coupè design, the sloping back end of the GLC Coupe. It is such a fantastic car. And I'm pretty excited to drive it today. Before we get into the video, I do want to give a shout out to my friend Ramin at Mercedes Benz Downtown Toronto. So if you guys are in the Toronto marketplace and you're looking to purchase a Mercedes, make sure you reach out to Ramin at his email right here. I'll also leave it in the description down below. Let's give you guys a quick walk around of this vehicle. I love at the rear end how boxy they put this plastic trim right here, a little bit of extra there. Got some pretty wide tires on the back. Pretty aggressive rear diffuser, lots of chrome trim everywhere, chrome tailpipes, chrome bumper trim, even chrome above the rear taillights and the window surround. And to get into the trunk, one thing I love is you pop that Mercedes logo and it does the trunk for you. We have a privacy cover and chrome handle for the storage cover, chrome sill there. That privacy cover comes up like that. When you're ready to close it, press that button. So being the GLC300, this is going to be Mercedes 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. Let's get that latch there. Let's check out the engine bay. Oh yeah, there's a safety release right over here. So you see that little snail turbo there? So that engine's going to be giving us about 250 horsepower, and I'm excited to get on the road and try it out. Give you guys a look at the back seat room before we get there. Black interior. I like this very light gray stitching. Some extra storage there. Let's head on to the inside. With Mercedes, you have all of your seat controls on the door here. We have the aluminum pedals, Mercedes door sill, black driver's seat, and we have the AMG Sport Package steering wheel here with the perforated leather.
What do you want to do?
Okay, looks like if you just say Mercedes, that personal assistant pops up. Oh, the seatbelt's tightening there. Let's get on the road and we will talk a little bit about the infotainment system when we go. This is your transmission controller. Up for reverse, down for drive, a little click there for park. We'll go down for drive. All right, let's get on the road. We're starting out in comfort mode. So from what I understand, 2023 is going to be the last year of this generation for the GLC Coupe. The normal GLC300 has already got its next generation with the next generation infotainment system. We'll take a drive on that vehicle the next time I come visit. But for today, we're going to do this vehicle. So the 2024 is supposed to have the new gauge cluster, the new infotainment screen. But let's focus on the engine. Let's focus on the drive. Oh, it's zippy. Oh, it hit that bump there, and that was some stiff suspension for Mercedes. So we're gonna hop onto the Don Valley Parkway here. I can already see we're going to be clogged up with traffic, but it looks like southbound is pretty free rolling. So we'll go up north, we'll get up to an intersection, and we'll get off and we'll come back down south, give us a good chance to feel the engine horsepower. But we'll explore a little bit of the infotainment system while we're stuck in that traffic. One thing I do like about this car already right off the bat is the normal gauge clusters, the classic Mercedes-Benz gauge clusters. We don't have a huge digital infotainment system. The infotainment screen is a nice size. It's not taking over. We don't have a giant iPad in the car, and that to me is something that I actually enjoy. We are going to get a little bit of an acceleration test right here. So a 2-liter turbocharged engine gives us enough to get up to pace pretty quickly. It's not an overwhelming amount. I'm sure Mercedes offers that 6-cylinder option if you need more horsepower. Now, whenever I'm merging in, you know, I always do the zipper effect. I go right down to the end of our merging lane. If you do that, it actually helps traffic instead of going in as soon as you have a chance. That actually does not help traffic and makes it even worse. So make sure when you're merging in, you go all the way to the end of the merging lanes. Oh, I do love this Mercedes-Benz steering wheel with the perforated leather and the flat bottom. Gives you more leg access down here. Now it looks like the infotainment system is touchscreen, so you can scroll through here as well, and you get a pad controller over here, kind of just like your laptop, or basically your laptop controller is a pad here for swiping left and right. We also have volume, and we have dynamic mode. So right now we're in comfort mode. If you click this dynamic button down here, you go up into Sport, Sport Plus, Sport Individual. We're going to leave it in Sport Plus today. No Sport Plus with a roof load, no Sport with a roof load. That is an interesting notification there. Now on the gauge cluster, you do have a little bit of customability, and then also on the right side of the steering wheel, you do have this, and you can also control the infotainment system with this, which is kind of cool because you have touchscreen, you have a pad down here and on your steering wheel, which is pretty cool. But on the right side, this one over here does different information in the center of your gauge cluster. So I like just leaving it on that speed one. We are going to test out the navigation system here. Let's do where to. We want to go back to Mercedes Downtown. Did I spell it wrong, or is it just searching? Mercedes, there we go, Mercedes Downtown. Below the infotainment system, you have these circle air conditioning vents, which kind of remind me of like I'm in an airplane. I like the gauge cluster, or the dashboard design. I like how it's flat, sculpting, aluminum trim on the inside. One thing I do love is over here, like the stitching carries over and into the door panel. It's really a seamless transition over in that corner. I don't know, something about that little bit of a corner I really like. Man, welcome to Toronto. This car doesn't have it, but one thing I would recommend when you buy any vehicle is active stop and go cruise control. I would activate that right now. We would put that on because, oof, it is brutal without it. Okay, so let's navigate to downtown, and I think if I do, we should be able to put the map. Can we put the map in the center console here? No, it doesn't seem like it. Doesn't seem like it's an option. No problem. Oh wait, here we go. Hit the home button, and then we have navigation. So there we go. Click the home button again. We could also do the radio. Oh no. Got to turn that volume down, although I'm going to cop that out in the editing. Okay, we click home, we have media, we have phone. Let's go back over to the left. Trip, drive assistance, service, drive assistance. I'm going to leave it on navigation here. Although I do like having the speed in the center. You can see real-time traffic info. You see all the red going on here, which is no good. So we're going to take the next exit. We'll get off, and then look at how free-flowing that southbound is. We'll be able to actually test out the acceleration, but it gives me a little bit more time to show you guys a little bit more on the inside cockpit here. Climate control is all down here. It's physical buttons. I love it. Just up, down on the temperature. You have automatic mode. You can go into menu mode and go right into the climate control menu. And then down below you have a short keys for, so you want to go back to navigation or radio, media, telephone. You have the vehicle systems, so if you want to go into the assistant, camera and parking, traffic jam assistant, brake assistant, attention assistant, all the assistants, Mercedes has that. They have you covered. Vehicle settings, light settings, like ambient lighting on the inside. You can have multiple changing colors. You can't really see it because we are daytime driving here. We do have this not panoramic, but just a glass sunroof with the sunshade. But yeah, the ambient lighting, like different modes that are changing multicolors. Apparently Red Moon is the best one. It's got an animation, ambient lighting in the circle AC. I'm not exactly sure where else. I think the ambient lighting's down here as well. You can see a little bit of red there. Yeah, the ambient lighting is something I really find cool on the Mercedes. That main menu, you can go through all of that stuff as well. And then down below you have two cup holders right here, ashtray, and a 12-volt converter. And then down below you have a little bit more, a couple extra buttons around the pad for your volume and power and the 360 parking camera and your dynamic mode. And in the center here, two USB-C charging ports and a ton of storage space. All your seat controls, heated seats are here. And with the GLC Coupe, you even have a electronic power steering, which is very nice. Now, I drive a lot of BMWs most of the time, so this would be a competitor to the X4 30i. And I'm gonna say already, I am really enjoying this interior. This Mercedes, it feels luxurious. I like the steering wheel, the perforated leather with the flat bottom. The suspension so far has been pretty comfortable. I'm still feeling all these little road divots that you have in Canadian traffic, but it seems smoother for some reason. It seems a little bit softer than I would normally get on my X4. Wow, it's only 3:30 and we are in stop and go traffic. It's basically, as soon as 3 o'clock, it's the new rush hour. It used to be 5 o'clock. Nope, it's 3 o'clock now if you're trying to leave the city. So we're gonna take this exit here, give us a good chance to feel how this car handles with cornering. And then we'll head back south and we'll get a chance to let this engine breathe. Brake back here. Brakes pretty good. What I find with Mercedes brakes is that initial bite isn't too much, but once you start pressing on that pedal, it really starts to get in there. The assistant is waiting for me because I said Mercedes once, so it automatically pops up. I believe you can go in and turn that off. Is quite a bit of body roll. This car's not really diving into the corners or anything like that, but it is a solid drive. Very, very comfortable, very luxurious. Like the engine pickup in sport, it's ready to get in there. The RPMs aren't, it's not upshifting right away, so the RPMs are staying within a good range. That beep was from the blind spot monitoring system. It goes red in the mirror and also beeps as well. It's no BMW handling, but it is still very good, but just with a little bit more plushness to it. We're taking this corner at 50 and it is planted. This is always such a short merging spot right here. We're gonna let these cars go ahead so we have a good chance to accelerate onto the highway. All right, we're gonna go for a full acceleration in 3, 2, 1. Very smooth shifts, quite a bit of power. As you can see, we left people behind us, but they weren't fully accelerating, but it's enough. You know, when we need to pass somebody, we can. Need to pass somebody, we can. We have all that power that we need there. But being a 4-cylinder turbocharged, still going to be very fuel efficient, around 8 liters per 100 kilometers. Like how in the sport mode, the RPMs aren't dropping down. You can see we're in the 6th gear. We do have the manual paddle shifters. We want to go up. This looks like it's an 8-speed automatic transmission. Just toggle down again. Or maybe I'll just hold plus. Yeah, I hold plus and you go back into normal drive mode. It's good acceleration. I mean, if you need more power than that, there's always a 6-cylinder option, but it gets the job done. It's what you need for daily driving. It's very fuel efficient. It's all the power that you need for acceleration. Need to merge in? Okay, no problem. Need a brake? No problem. I find the brakes, they're not really touchy. It takes a little bit to get into them, but then once you add that pressure there, definitely, they're gonna bring you to a stop. Yeah, we're comparing Mercedes, BMW, but BMW definitely has the touchier brake system. Let's bring the nav back up here. Oh, we have the front camera augmented reality navigation here. I'm going to go this way. All right, well, I've pretty much showed you guys everything, right? We went over the switches, the controls, went through the infotainment system, talked about the interior. The only thing left to show you guys is the self-parking feature that this vehicle has. I'm going to cut forward to getting back to the dealership. If you guys made it this far, please smash the like button, subscribe to my channel. Let me guys know in the comments what I can do to improve my videos or what you guys liked about my videos. We have arrived back at the dealership here. So for self-parking, what you do is you find yourself a parking spot, you drive past that parking spot, and once you've gone past that parking spot, well, you do want to click this button, but I clicked it before, so it's searching for a parking spot. Then you click the touchscreen here, we go reverse, put it into reverse, let go of the brake, that's going to take over the gas and brake for us. Look at how close it gets you. It gets you a lot closer than you would ever get yourself, because it's got those sensors. It knows exactly how much room it needs or how much room it has. And there we go. All right, thank you guys so much. Please, like I said, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're in the Toronto marketplace and you're looking to purchase a Mercedes-Benz, reach out to my friend Ramin at his email down below at the bottom of this video. And thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys on the next POV driving video.